Lynchburg Arena, Normal, Illinois, as Aetna proudly presents Valley Men's Game of the Week on ESPN3 tonight. The Illinois State Redbirds get set to take on the Indiana State Sycamores. Hello, everyone. Along with Dave Kaplan, Scott Warman. Great to have you alongside. Cap, what a role to start this conference season for Dan Muller's Illinois State Redbirds.
And they're doing it, yes, they're exceptionally talented. Excuse me, they're very well coached, but they're doing it because they defend the perimeter as well as any team in America. They get out, they contest, they really limit what you do offensively, and they take you out of your comfort zone.
All right, for Indiana State, it has been a struggle to start out the season, but when you add up what they have had to go against, and we see some of the numbers there of the teams they've had to play and the records in league play, it's been a tough go for Greg Lansing.
It has. His seniors haven't played as well as I think they had hoped. They're trying to build. They lost some personnel from a year ago. They've dealt with a little injury, but they've had their moments. They won over Butler, who's one of the nation's better teams. So they can.
Is for Dan Muller's team.
It's among the best in the country. For me, a former coach, field goal percentage defense speaks a lot. And when you get up and force people out of their comfort zone, that tells me you respect your head coach, you play with a lot of intensity. Look at that number. Third in the country. Points per game, everyone goes, oh, you're holding them to 54. But that doesn't matter. If you play a slower down style, it's going to keep the scoring down. When you defend the field goal percentage as well as they have, you're elite.
All right, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups, a presentation of Casey's General Store. Right now, Casey's General Store, get a large or medium pepperoni pizza for only $10. Casey's, famous for pizza.
Where's ours? Where's our pizza?
We need some. Maybe we'll get one at halftime.
Eat a little pizza, watch some hoops.
Little change for the Trees tonight as Greg Lansing switching it up. Matt Van Soyk, T.J. Bell, along with Bunscoten, Scott, and Clements will get the start. And the regular starting five. Why not when you have a 9-game winning streak for Dan Muller's Illinois State Redbirds? These two teams matched up earlier this year in Terre Haute, and Illinois State came out on top 77-58. In fact, it stopped a 9-game losing streak for the Birds in Western Indiana. ISU leads this series 62-55. Our officials for tonight's game, Paul Jansen, Bert Smith, and Rick Crawford, as we get set for basketball, our Valley Game of the Week. From Central Illinois, it's the Redbirds and the Sycamores, and the first place Redbirds will have the opening possession. This is the latest the Redbirds have had sole possession of first place in the Valley since Dan Muller was a senior back in 1998. Hawkins with a hot start for the Birds.
Well, that's exactly what you want. You want to cut the heart out of Indiana State quickly. They come in, they're reeling a bit. You are the best team in the league at Illinois State. A few shots early and defend really aggressively, and you can take a real strong grasp of this game. That's a big shot. Gotta make some shots early if you're the Sycamores.
In the previous matchup this season in Terre Haute, it was a huge start for Illinois State that Indiana State Sycamores tried to come back with a run in the second half as the travels called on McIntosh. And it was just so much of a deficit in the first half that the Sycamores just couldn't come back. There's Greg Lansing. Last year was inducted into the Iowa High School Basketball Hall of Fame. He and his father are one of only 10 duos in the state of Iowa who have both been inducted into the Iowa High School Basketball Hall of Fame. The dude can flat out coach.
Oh, he can flat out coach. It's been a tough year. I don't think it's the type of year he expected. But they'll be fine. They'll bounce back. So a little bit of zone on the first possession from Indiana State. 2-3 zone.
How about a power move by Phil Fain here, Cap?
Wow. That was a pretty move, showing you really good footwork.
Well, I'll tell you what, you figure Hawkins, Lee at the point, and Mikal McIntosh such a huge part of the success of this team, not only this year, but in the last couple of years. And you get Fain going inside, boy, that's just another weapon Dan Muller can use in the second half, not only of the Valley season, but when they get into postseason play.
Yeah, don't forget, you're going to get McIntosh back next year, Fain back next year. I mean, this is not going to be a team that suffers a major drop-off. That guy, I know he can coach. Did you ever watch him play college basketball?
Absolutely.
He could defend as well as any guy in the country.
Dan Muller, 5th season. What a job he has done at his alma mater as he was inducted into the Iowa State Hall of Fame, Illinois State, I should say, Hall of Fame back in 2009. He was a 2-time Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year. In fact, in '98, he was the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament MVP. All right, let's get to Cap's keys to the game production of the Doubletree by Hilton Bloomington, the preferred hotel of the Missouri Valley Conference in Central Illinois. Cap?
Well, I looked at the keys, and I felt for Indiana State, they got to start quick. That means at both ends of the court. Force Illinois State out of their comfort zone. Don't give up easy baskets, but you got to bank some shots. Have to bang shots. We'll find out if they can. And for Illinois State, you want to cut their heart out quickly. You really want to get this, playing with confidence. There's a three-point play on the back door, and now the crowd's into it.
Pretty pass by Hawkins in the high post.
Watch the pass. See the backdoor cut? The whole key to that whole play set up by Phil Fain, if you watch it again, he fakes to the sideline and then goes backdoor. Well, that freezes the defender. We call that a V-cut. Boom, boom. Get me the ball. Let me finish and operate.
Fain has the last 5 points for ISU, Illinois State that is. They lead it by 5. Scoten. And it won't drop. Rebound taken by Hawkins. Hawkins, one of the better rebounders in the Valley this season, along with scoring as well in the top 10 in both of those categories. McIntosh had himself an afternoon at the Holman Center a couple of weeks ago, scoring a career-high 31 in the victory against the Sycamores. Fain is on fire.
Well, they're so focused on taking McIntosh and Hawkins out, you can't guard them all.
7-0 run right now for the Redbirds.
Look at the defensive intensity on the perimeter. I mean, you're not getting a clean look.
Scoten again.
Tough shot, but Harris Lee was right there. Here's a little bit of pressure.
Looks like Indiana State's going to go back to a zone. McIntosh for 3, just short. Rebound by Hawkins. Wills will try a 3. Scott's going to take it coast to coast, and he gets the bucket and the foul.
They'll get McIntosh on the body. Crunched him pretty good, too. To be able to get this one to go, that's a pretty good job. Here comes the foul. Boom, there's the contact. Get it up and get it to go.
That right there tells you and shows you the athletic ability of Brenton Scott. He didn't have the numbers, but you could see in his eyes he was going for it no matter what to get his team back into this one early on. Deontae Ojanaka checks in for Greg Lansing's squad. Now, it's not as if Indiana State, even though the upside-down record has been a complete struggle. I mean, they have lost some tough games this year. In fact, 10 of the 20 games that Greg Lansing's team has played so far this season leading into tonight's contest, 10 of the 20, they've either been into the final possession or in overtime. In fact, there are 2 and 3 in overtime sessions this season. Hawkins a little strong. Clayton keeps it alive, and it'll be Sycamore basketball when we come back. Just underway at Redbird Arena, it's Illinois State and Indiana State. It's the Valley on ESPN3. The Valley on ESPN3 is brought to you by Aetna. Aetna invests in game-changing programs that make being healthy simpler and more convenient than ever. Get to know us at Aetna.com. Illinois State with the early lead just underway here at Redbird Arena. Dave Kaplan, Scott Warman with you, and it's a big week in college basketball. As you know, Cap, it's Coaches versus Cancer Week, and all the coaches are wearing sneakers, obviously, for a great cause.
Yeah, it just highlights how much they're trying to give back to the community and raise funds for Coaches versus Cancer. Jim Valvano, the late Jim Valvano, all of it is tied together, and cancer has touched all of us in some way, shape, or form. It's wonderful to see the coaches. Some of them had their shoes painted. Some have clouds on them. I think those are Dan Muller's. It's just a whole different, array.
It is, and basically what the symbol is some of the, at least some of those who are fighting cancer here in the Bloomington Normal area got a chance to get their sneakers a part of what the coaches are wearing on Illinois State side. Of course, Greg Lansing and his staff over at Indiana State also wearing their sneakers with their suits here in tonight's game in Central Illinois.
Clayton got up in the passing lane, did a really nice job just disrupting.
Here's Clemens. He's had quite a senior season. Scott for three, in and out. Rebound again, taken by Hawkins.
Boy, that one, they've had two that, were literally in the hole and down and popped back out.
Now the Redbirds started 4 for 4 from the field, and now they've missed their last 3 shots. Evans make it 0 for their last 4, and T.J. Bell pulls down the rebound for the Trees. Clemens was just an assist away from a triple-double against Ball State earlier this year. That is last touched by Indiana State, and the Redbirds will get it back. Clemens doing an excellent job working the point again in his senior season for Indiana State. This is Njai. Hawkins at the block.
Can't stop him down there. Cannot stop him down there.
So effortless, Cap.
He is exceptionally effortless and highly athletic. It's a lethal combination for Indiana State to defend.
Here's Bell. Backing in on Njai. Bell trying to get some help. Shot clock under 10. Ojanaka. Strong. Njai pulls down the rebound.
Yeah, that's not the shot you wanted to get out of that possession. It really isn't.
Hawkins for three.
He's getting on a roll. You haven't seen McIntosh yet, but you've seen Hawkins influence this game here early. When he starts banging shots and now you extend out, now McIntosh post, it's a lethal combination.
Hawkins had 19 in the victory against Drake here at Redbird Arena on Saturday night.
Got him.
Soy will go for 4. Wow. How about that?
They got a miscommunication on the switch or who was going to get out. Hawkins said, pick him up, and Evans comes flying out there. You're going to see there's the hit, but right before that, they got a little bit of traffic inside. He's a day late and $1 short getting to the top of the key, crashes in, and you get the bucket to go as well.
Evans picks up the foul, and now a 4-point play potentially here from Matt Van Soik. Transfer from the Citadel, and between his career at the Citadel and at Indiana State, he has over 1,200 career points, the senior, in his final year in Terre Haute. And with that, he makes it just a 3-point deficit for the Sycamores as they trail it 15-12 as we play just over 6 minutes of this one here from Redbird Arena. Clayton, who's had a hot hand here of late for Illinois State. Stolen by Scott. Nice save.
What a save and pass.
Ojinaka, excuse me, that is Barnes with the finish.
But what a great save, though, in front of the Indiana State bench, and then had the presence of mind to make a perfect pass.
Jordan Barnes with his first 2 points. Right now, the Sycamores on a 6-0 run.
Watch the save again. I mean, this is an outstanding effort. There's the save, doesn't go out of bounds, and not only throws it back in, but feeds his guy perfectly.
There's Fain, perfect from the field so far, 3 for 3. Layton. And the follow. There's McIntosh with an offensive rebound. Evans for 3. And a lot of contact. And looks
Rebounding
like
foul at Illinois State.
Yeah, offensive foul is going to be called on the Redbirds. A lot of bodies flying around underneath the glass.
So Indiana State's taken the first punch. They've come out pretty solid. And here they are now, a chance to take the lead.
Nice ball rotation. Here's Barnes. Shot clock at 4. Trying to get it inside. And back the other way to the Redbirds. There's that suffocating defense for Illinois State.
You can't make that pass from the position it was at right at the top of the key at the elbow. You've got to take it to the wing and then dive it inside. It's all about angles. McIntosh has not really had a chance to get a good look yet. He wants the ball, McIntosh.
And looks like TJ Bell is going to pick up a foul. Make that Brandon Murphy with the foul for Indiana State. We got a timeout on the floor. 11:46 in our opening half. Redbirds have the lead at 15-14. Back at Redbird Arena, it was a hot start for Illinois State, but the Sycamores not going away, climbing themselves back into this one as they trail at 15-14. Let's take a look at our Missouri Valley Conference standings. A presentation of Purina Dog Chow, always crafted in the USA since 1926. And there you see the Redbirds, their best start since 1982-83, as they had that one-game lead over the Wichita State Shockers. But you look at the rest of the standings, and you get 3 through 7, and there's just a big pileup in the conference standings, Cap, in the Missouri Valley Conference.
You mentioned 82-83. I coached against that Illinois State team, and they were really good. If I remember correctly, they had Rick Lamb, they had Hank Cornley, they had a kid, I want to say Brad Dunn, I can't remember if I got the name right, who just lit it up. Yeah, they were really good with Bob Donowald as the head coach. They could play.
This team can play too. They're looking to
This
match.
is a better team.
They're looking to match that school record 9-0 start in Valley play if they can pull away with a victory here tonight against Indiana State, who's very hungry. Lee a little strong.
They're struggling with their shot, but
They are.
That's a turnover you can't have.
Fain and Hawkins both have 3 field goals, and Paris Lee is the only other Redbird right now that has hit a field goal. That 3 by Paris Lee.
Just gave them 3 points that they should never have had.
Knight in the land of the Giants, taken away by Fain. Here's Fain, and he'll go to the line.
Fain's really, really active. Take a look at the Paris Lee three-pointer. There's the open look. Square it up and bury it. That comes off of an Indiana State unforced error. Can't turn the ball over there.
You think of Paris Lee, you think of assists, point guard, you think of steals, but you realize he is leading the Missouri Valley Conference in threes made.
Unbelievable. He is a tremendous floor leader.
He has become a complete player in his senior year. You and I talked about this when we were here a couple of weeks ago. You know, you had the Van Vliets, the Washpins at the point last year leading the way. This guy is the king of point guards in the Missouri Valley Conference this season.
No question about it. He is. If you're going to play this team in the postseason, you're going to look, you go, okay, let's see. Well, if we try and take Lee away, boy, they've got athletes inside. Well, we take McIntosh away, that Hawkins guy's going to kill us. And then you got Fain, who's really started to come into his own, and Wills. And they're a really good team. And then they guard you at the other end, most importantly.
Actually getting a top 25 vote this week in the college basketball polls, and who knows what can happen with some big upsets in college basketball last night, where Illinois State could wind up. Boonskoten. Strong. Paris Lee pulls down the rebound.
Tell you what, how about if you're on the committee and you go first round matchup, Illinois State and Northwestern.
Oh my.
How about that?
We're going crazy in Chicago, wouldn't they?
Oh, they would love that. Northwestern hosted the first ever Final Four at Patton Gym on their campus, 1938. They've never played in the tournament. Never. They've hosted 2 Final Fours, including the first one.
Harding and Evanston. Shot clock at 1. Wills in and out. And Clemens gets the miss. And a quick shot. And last touch by Fain. Indiana State will retain possession.
I just think Indiana State's shooting it too quick here. I talked to Greg Lansing for quite a while today. He said, I don't want us to shoot it too quick, but when guys get an open look against a team that guards as well as they do, it's hard to tell them, hey, you got an open look, don't take it.
Cap, they haven't hit a field goal in the last 3+ minutes. After climbing back into this one, only trailing 15-14, and now down by a half dozen. And a foul is called. It's number 2, Jordan Barnes. He's a freshman point guard. And talking to Greg yesterday, and Greg is really excited about this young man taking over the point guard position after Everett Clemens graduates this season. Inside to Bell on Hawkins. T.J. Bell won't drop.
Boy, he had a good look at it, too. Got it. Oop, just a little short. You could see that one from our angle, right on line.
Bell's wide open. And the 3 off the mark by Scott. And back the other way to Indiana State. Both teams ice cold offensively right now. Not getting too much of a rhythm.
No, not at all.
In fact, Indiana State 2 for their last 10 from the field. Bronson Kessinger will check in for the Sycamores. Van Soik from the outside. And that's one thing you were just mentioning. There's another miss. Is Indiana State's so reliant, these guys are on their outside shots, that they're not looking inside. I think a lot of teams, especially as you know this, Cap, as an ex-coach, you get a lot of film off these teams and you realize some of their tendencies. They're not really going to defend you inside because they're so reliant on that outside shot.
Very well said, Scott. Very well said. Greg Lansing, none too pleased with that shot selection. And he made his feelings known.
Lee inside. And Britton Scott comes away with it. Barnes. And again, early shot in the possession. Clemens with the kick out. This is Van Soyk.
That's a good shot. He's a good shooter. He got his feet set. They were able to get him the shot on a recycled possession after a miss. I thought the first shot way too fast.
Indiana State 3 for 11 from beyond the arc in this first half. It ended a 5-minute scoring drought. Lee. Scott the other way. And just like that, the Trees are down by 1, and Dan Muller burns a timeout.
Well, if I'm Dan Muller, I'm not happy. Too many unforced errors.
5-0 run for the Sycamores as Matt Van Soyk has the Trees back into this one in Central Illinois. To the game, it's Illinois State's distance runner Lindsey Lewis, a junior from Lake Villa, Illinois. Lewis scored points in the 2016 NBC Outdoor Championship in Terre Haute, Indiana, finishing 7th in the steeplechase. Lewis has a 3.6 cum GPA in physical education. The official bank of the Missouri Valley Conference, Eagle Bank, where a student's financial future begins.
13-10 advantage for the Redbirds on the boards. 13-10. Turnovers really a non-factor so far. 3 for the Trees, 4 for the Redbirds.
Dave Kaplan, Scott Warman with you. It's the Valley on ESPN3, our Valley Game of the Week from Redbird Arena as the first place team in the Valley, the Illinois State Redbirds hosting Indiana State. And for the Sycamores, of course, it has been a struggle to start out Valley play, 1-7. But after tonight, as you get to the second half of the season for Greg Lansing's team, no more Illinois State, no more Wichita State, no more Missouri State. So maybe they can breathe a little bit after tonight's game.
But there's really no easy game.
No.
You know, I'm looking at some of the scores from around the country, and I'm like, well, that team's not very good. Oh, my God, they're up 24-8. It's just unbelievable how tough it is to go on the road and win.
Boy, how about Hawkins in the block?
You know, he slows the game down. He lets the defender clear, and then he gets his little look. He's a really good player.
Van Soyk under 10 on the shot clock. Scott for 3. And contact down low, and I believe we're going to get a foul called on Bronson Kessinger.
Yep, absolutely. Got him with contact from behind.
McIntosh.
They've done a good job on him. They really
Very
have.
quiet. He has. Hawkins. And Kessinger gets the miss.
Good rebound by Kessinger. Got some position and just ripped that ball down.
On in jive. Here's Clayton. Kick out. Evans thought about the 3. McIntosh.
Good
Double team, yeah.
Tell you what, that was a great defensive possession for Indiana State. If you watch how they challenged every single shot.
Van Soyk with another triple.
We're knotted at 22.
Matt Van Soyk, 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. Hawkins loses the handle, gets it back, and now stripped away. Another good defensive effort by the Sycamores for their first lead. Yes! First lead of the night for Indiana State at 25-22. Right now on an 11-2 run. And the push off on Deontae Hawkins. Look looks like it. Offensive foul on the Redbirds.
Take a look, back-to-back triples. There's the open look. Van Soik, he buries that one, and then there's another open look. They push the tempo well, and they're able to get themselves a good, clean look at a basket.
So Hawkins picks up the foul, and that is his first. That's team foul number 5 on the Redbirds. Illinois State now 2 for their last 12 from the field. Sycamore is giving the Redbirds a little taste of their own medicine defensively. Barnes under 10 on the shot clock. Knight on the drive. And Fain comes up with a loose chain.
A lot of contact when he was going up. I thought he got fouled.
Williams just checking in. Too strong on the 3 attempt. Moonscope comes away with
not shooting the ball well at all.
Oh, look at Bell running it, but he can't finish. Boy, that would have been a huge 2 right there. And off of McIntosh's foot.
Right now, looks like one of those nights for Illinois State so far.
Ojanaka, too strong. Williams collects the miss.
Well, I'll tell you, Indiana State's missed some golden opportunities to get this thing with a nice little working margin.
Williams trying the reverse. That's blocked out of bounds. Redbirds basketball. When we come back, a surprise in Central Illinois. Indiana State with a 3-point lead. Back in Normal, Illinois, Redbird Arena. And right now, Indiana State looking for the upset tonight as they have the 3-point lead, 3:25 left in our opening half of play. Hey, folks, stay tuned for our halftime report, a presentation of State Farm. They assist you when things go wrong, but also help when life goes right. Team up with an agent today at 800 State Farm. We'll have interviews with both Dan Muller and Greg Lansing. We'll have our player profile with Everett Clemens, and we'll have a State Farm moment, the Illinois State Student Services, highlights, stats, and more. It's all coming up on our State Farm halftime report. I'll tell you what, Dave Kaplan, we mentioned before that Mikal McIntosh had 31 points in the game earlier this year between these two teams in Terre Haute, which was a career high, but he has been very quiet tonight.
Exceptionally quiet. They've done a really good job at taking him out of the offensive flow. They run someone at him, really good coaching move. Every time he gets it, look at that. They double him right there, and they make it a really tough situation. He gets the ball at the top of the key. They've got someone right there so he can't make a move.
McIntosh with the kick out, and it's stolen.
Again.
Clemens. And the foul is going to be called
on Indiana State.
On Indiana State, Jordan Barnes. You mentioned it right before we went to the break, Cap. So many opportunities for Indiana State to pull away from this 3-point lead in the last, 2-3 possessions at least. And they've come up empty every time.
Every single time. Got to get some points here. Instead, you foul and you give them an opportunity to climb right back closer.
That's the 7th team foul on the Trees as Madison Williams, the freshman from Augusta, Georgia, will head the other way and head to the line for the Redbirds. Illinois State right now over 4 minutes without a point. In fact, they are 2 for the last 14 from the field. Looks like they're switching up to a zone here, Cap.
They are. They've extended it, too. Out on the floor, really not giving Van Soik a pretty good look.
Scott just off on that 3 attempt.
Deep, deep shot. They'll give that up all night long.
Clayton on the drive. And the follow. No! Barnes has got numbers.
Stole it away.
Clayton, nice job getting back on defense. Williams. Boone-Scoten inside the arc.
Really nice head and shoulder fake by Boone-Scoten. He saw the defender coming at him, and this crowd has got to get their guys going. They're not making shots, but the crowd's flat.
2 for their last 17 from the field. It's a 5-point lead for the Sycamores. Clayton.
Big. Got to get some confidence going here.
That was nearly a 5-minute scoring drought for the Redbirds until that 3 by DJ Clayton. Last 4 games for Clayton as he checks out. And David Njai comes back in. Clayton shooting 80% from the field in the last 4 games. Breaks the ice there for the Redbirds.
There are times you don't play well and you look up and you go, oh my God, we're 17 points down. We're 2 points down and not playing well.
And Soik with the turnaround. And a foul is called.
Let's get a look at that one. See where the contact comes. There's Van Soik right inside the elbow.
It's tough to tell there.
Didn't see a foul.
Soik, who's hit all of his shots beyond the arc, 3 for 4 this evening, and has 9 points so far. Sycamores up 27-25. You see Paris Lee checking back in for Dan Muller's squad. And Soik can't hit another free throw, and that's not touched by Indiana State Redbird basketball. Matt Van Soik, 3 for 4 again from beyond the arc, 0 for 3 at the charity stripe. And now a little full court pressure by the Sycamores. And they'll slide into a zone. We've seen this from time to time from the Trees. Now they try the backdoor alley-oop, and the foul is called as Lee tried to connect with Phil Fain. As we watch it again, here's Lee. And Fain can't finish, as it was Kessinger defending there for Indiana State. So Phil Fain to the line. Fain has had himself quite a evening, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and he already has 10 points on the night. He had a career high 11 rebounds in the game earlier this year in Terre Haute. 1 for 2, Redbirds trail it by 1. Under a minute remaining in this opening half of play.
Illinois State back in the zone, Scott.
Boone-Scoten hits the 3.
Tough shot. I mean, a hand in his face.
That is the 6th triple made by the Trees in this opening 20 minutes.
Zone out of Indiana State. Good call by Greg Lansing here.
Fain. And Boone-Scoten picks up the foul with 18.6 seconds remaining in this opening half of play.
Tell you what, that was a really nice pass. Obviously a foul, but Indiana State, give them credit. They are really defending well on the perimeter, making it tough for Illinois State to execute their half-court attack.
Payne leading the way right now with the 11 points for the Redbirds in this opening half. 2-point lead for the Sycamores. We'll see if Cap, if Illinois State wants to go back to that zone and they want to pick up some man here.
I would think they would at least pick up man and then maybe fall back into a zone. Going with a quicker lineup with Evans back in, Njai takes a seat.
And we're going to go back to a man here, Cap. Scott. And a 5. Scott has it stolen. And that will do it for the opening 20 minutes of play here at Redbird Arena. What an opening half of basketball for Greg Lansing's Indiana State Sycamores as they go into the locker room at the half, leading Illinois State by a score of 30-28. Time to check in with Illinois State head coach Dan Miller for tonight's Casey's General Store's plans for the second half with Dave Kaplan. Cap.
Dan, you guys struggled making shots, but they also did a good job defensively against you. What do you change going into the second half?
Well, Indiana State did a great job. Our ball care is ridiculous. Our two guys that handle the ball continue to turn it over. Got a little frustrated there, took some bad shots. This was not the energy level that we normally play with.
So the energy is probably the most important thing you will harp on.
Absolutely. We got to play with more energy on both ends. We got to make the right plays on the offensive end.
All right, good luck.
Thanks,
All right, Cap, Coach, thanks so much. Our chat with the coaches this season is brought to you by Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. Indiana State looking to lock off number 1 in the Valley. Right now, they have the 2-point lead at the break. Our halftime report is brought to you by State Farm. It continues here at Redbird Arena. Indiana State looking for the upset as they lead at the break over Illinois State by a score of 30-28. Dave Kaplan, Scott Warman with you. And, Cap, let's take a look at our first half stats. A production of Arena Dog Chow, always crafted in the USA since 1926.
Off the basket. Neither one has shot the ball especially well, especially the final 6-7 minutes of the first half. Steals, not really a huge factor. Rebounds, Illinois State has a slight advantage, and they haven't turned it over much. I thought Illinois State had very poor energy. They've got to do a much better job, and I promise you, Dan Muller raised his voice at halftime.
I think you're exactly right. We'll take a break, and we'll get set for the second half of this one here at Redbird Arena. Sycamores lead 30-28 at the break. The Valley on ESPN3 is brought to you by Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. All right, time to head over and hear from head coach Greg Lansing of Indiana State for his plans of the second half, brought to you by Casey's General Store with Dave Kaplan. Cap.
Are you pleased, Greg, with what you saw in the first half? Your guys really competed.
Yeah, we competed, Cap, and we haven't been doing that. That's been the frustrating thing about this team. When we compete, we always have a chance, and our defense really played well for a long stretch there. That does you nothing for 20 minutes, but if we can compete like that for another 20, we'll have a chance.
What do you tell your guys at halftime? Yes, it's 20 minutes, but it's a good 20.
Well, they're relieved to compete a little bit and play better, but don't be happy with that. I mean, come on, we came here we didn't drive over here just to compete for 20 minutes. We want to win the game.
Good luck.
Thanks, Cap.
All right, gentlemen, thanks so much. And our chat with the coaches this season is brought to you by Casey's General Store. Casey's, famous for pizza. And Aetna, the official presenting sponsor of the Valley on ESPN3, proudly brings you the second half of our Valley Game of the Week from Redbird Arena here in Central Illinois as the Redbirds trail Indiana State by a score of 30-28. Dave Kaplan, Scott Warman with you. Great to have you alongside us. Everyone after tonight will have hit the midway point of the Missouri Valley Conference regular season. Right now, Dan Muller's squad at 8-0. It's the best start to a Valley season for an Illinois State team since 1982, 1983. In fact, this is the first time the Redbirds have been in sole possession this late in a Valley season in the first place since Dan was a senior at Illinois State back in 1998. But right now, they trail it by a score of 30-28. You heard our own Dave Kaplan with Greg Lansing. Pleased with his first half, but trying to put two halves together to maybe come away with the upset here on the road against a very good Illinois State Redbird team who actually picked up a vote in the top 25 this week in the polls. And with some teams going down in the top 5 last night in college basketball, if Illinois State can come back in this one and take care of business this week, potential to be in the top 25. Underway, second half, TJ Bell has that pass tipped off the fingertips of Phil Fain.
Well, I can promise you both coaches let their teams know how hard they expect them to play in the second half. But I thought Indiana State played pretty hard in the first half. Didn't make some shots when they had a chance to get a little bit of a lead. But I thought Illinois State didn't compete as hard as I thought they normally would. And I guarantee you Dan Muller let them have it.
Indiana State, I'm sorry, Cap, 4-2 this season when they lead at the half. Clemens drains it. Good start for the senior point guard for the Sycamores.
Exactly what they need is to bang a couple shots and go, okay, guys, we've got a little bit of a lead. Force Illinois State on their heels a bit.
Here's Hawkins in the paint. Fain with the follow.
He was the guy who went 3 for 3 early in the ball game, then slowed down offensively. There's a big tip in just to get them going again.
24 of the 30 points scored for Illinois State tonight have come from either Fain or Hawkins. And there's TJ Bell at the block. Nice move by the senior.
How about the depth they're able to get to their offense? That's a two-footer.
Absolutely. Here's McIntosh. We mentioned he's been so quiet in the opening 20 minutes. Down low, and the foul is called.
Well, again, a zone defense out of Indiana State. I would love to see that play. They were able to sneak somebody behind the zone. That's something Greg Lansing's talking about. Guys, we got to shift and get to the baseline.
By the way, tonight is just the 4th time this season that Illinois State has faced a deficit heading into the second half of play. The 3 previous games, they came away with a victory.
Tell you what, it trains you for postseason play, for conference tournaments.
Fain goes 1 of 2. I think what will be interesting, and you alluded to this in the first half, Cap, is how much does Indiana State, with the lead, to at least start things off in the second half, how much clock do they take off on each possession? They were taking some quick shots in early possessions in that first half and still came away with a 2-point lead. There is Paris Lee.
Thought he got away with the travel. He slid. They didn't call it. I think that they take good shots within the flow of the offense. If it comes fairly quickly, Greg doesn't have a problem with that. But it was the quick one pass into the front court, jack it up. That's what he talked to his team about.
Clemens. Now Scott. Short. Clemens gets the bucket and the foul.
Tell you what, I thought the contact came from his own guy. You watch the replay, the contact comes, I think, from his own man. I think it's Bell. There's the miss. Look who bangs into him. It's his own guy. Officials saw contact and called it. That was Bell that banged into his own man.
Clemens, one of the top free throw shooters in the entire Missouri Valley Conference, makes it a 4-point lead again for the Trees at 37-33. Late. Nice head fake, and the foul is called.
Zone defense again out of Indiana State, and I think it's been a really good coaching call.
Soik picks up the foul.
Dan Muller's not happy with. There's just right now. You look at the Illinois State bench; it's just flat. There's a bunch of frowns. There's no smiles. He's not happy with what he's seeing.
Talking it over with McIntosh and Evans and Njai right there. And the officials calling a timeout right now as they will go over to the scorer's table opposite of us to take a look at something on the replay. And one of our officials talking over with Dave right now. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, Bert Smith just came over and said they are making sure on the foul. After the foul, a hand comes down and catches one of the Indiana State players in the face. So here's the play. There's the head and shoulder fake. There's the foul. You see the hand right there.
Boy, he did take a shot. That's Van Soik taking the shot from DJ Clayton. There's the foul. And then gets him right in the eye.
Yeah, and I don't believe it was intentional at all.
But again, as you know, Cap, I mean, there is so much concentration with headshots and concussions these days in all of sports that, you know, these officials have been trained to take every precaution necessary.
Now they'll bring the third official, Bert Smith, in to take a look as well with Paul Jansen. Rick Crawford, the third man on the crew.
Now remember, several years ago in the Missouri Valley Conference, every arena was mandated by the commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference, Doug Elgin, to put in their own replay systems. And so they can implement the in-house replay systems first before they actually check with our great production crew here on our web screen broadcast.
I do not believe it was intentional.
I don't think so either.
But you could still see a flagrant one for contact above the shoulders.
It looked like Clayton was just following through with his shot, obviously without the ball, because he was initially fouled by Matt Van Soy. We'll take a look at it one more time here, Cap.
Here he comes along the baseline. Now he gives the head and shoulder fake. Good jump stop. There's the contact. And then as he follows through, bam, catches him right in the face. And he's okay, Van Soy.
And they're going to bring both Greg Lansing and Dan Muller in to discuss their decision here on the call. Obviously, something is going to be called on DJ Clayton because
no question about
Dan is, you can tell by his expression, he's not too happy.
I think you're going to see I would think a flagrant one.
There's also a contact technical foul on number 2, DJ Clayton.
Because it's a dead ball after the foul, it becomes a contact technical foul.
So Clayton will go to the line after the foul by Van Soik. It'll be 2 free throws shot here by DJ.
And then 2 free throws, or one free throw, I believe, at the other. 2 free throws to the other end, and the ball.
By the way, Clayton had 15 points in the victory against Drake last Saturday. As he goes 1 for 2, Clayton right now in his last 4 games is averaging just under 12 points a game. As Muller's getting some great production off the bench from the junior from Oakland, California. Now the other way, here's Everett Clemens with the free throw on the technical.
You get one more, and then they will get the ball. The crowd doesn't like it, but the crowd hasn't seen the replay. Officials got this right. Cannot have contact above the head to that degree. Cannot.
By the way, that's the second personal foul on DJ Clayton as well. And a travel by Scott. There's that Illinois State defense.
Did a nice job coming out and denying on the wing, making it tough to enter it. Led to the travel.
The last 11 games, Illinois State's defense, and Cap talked about it at the top of the show, opponents are only averaging 33% from the field and averaging just 57 points a game. They are in lockdown defensively.
I'll tell you what, Dan Muller looks like he can play right now. He is bouncing up and down that sideline. He is not happy. He wants his guys pushing the tempo, and he wants his guys attacking and moving.
By the way, Van Soyk just picked up his third personal as he takes a seat on Greg Lansing's bench. Hawkins. And the rebound taken by Murphy. Scott on Wills. And the foul's going to be called on Tony Wills.
Take a look at it again. Here comes the dribble across. Yeah, I think that's two ticky-tackle whistle. Two ticky-tackle whistle.
Let him play, right?
Yep. I understand the rules, freedom of movement, but that was not real contact there. Travel.
And there's another travel. Another turnover by Indiana State. That's number 7 here tonight. Again, just like the first half, Cap, when Indiana State finally got that lead, they've had these empty possessions to try to stretch out their lead here.
Right.
We'll see if this gives the Redbirds some momentum at home.
They're up 38-34, and they probably feel we should be up 44-34.
Here's Clayton. Strong move to the hole.
Nice job, though, by Paris Lee. Get penetration and then fire it to the wing, and here came Clayton. Caught it and finished.
Boone Scoten. Hawkins with the rebound. Paris Lee for the lead. Contact underneath. It's going to be on Indiana State. Redbirds basketball when we come back, just underway, second half. Sycamores looking for the upset on the road.
Tough shot.
Just underway, second half, our Valley Game of the Week on ESPN3. Redbirds, the top team in the Valley right now, trailing it by 2 at home. Folks, Etna, the MVC Fan Hangout is the perfect gathering place before and after games during Arch Madness. It's located at Ballpark Village in downtown St. Louis, just across the street from Busch Stadium. For additional information, visit archmadness.com/fan.
Did you hang out at Ballpark Village during the MLB playoff? Oh, wait a minute. No, you didn't.
I did, actually. I was working on it. There was actually a lot of Cubs fans there, by the way. As you see in the background there, that young gentleman with the glasses, that is Dave Lansing. That is Greg Lansing's father. And Dave, along with his son Greg, both inducted into the Iowa High School Basketball Hall of Fame. It's only the 10th father-son combo to be inducted into the Iowa High School Basketball Athletic Hall of Fame. In fact, it happened for Greg last March in Des Moines. Talked to him a little bit about it yesterday and said it was quite a moment to spend with his father. Here's Paris Lee to tie it at 38.
It's an amazing honor when you think about all the great players and all the great coaches over so many years.
Clemens. Barnes with 6 on the shot clock. And Clayton picks up a sloppy foul there. That's his third.
No question about the foul, and he knew it. There it is. Late in the shot clock. That's just, as you called it, a sloppy foul, not getting down and getting in a defensive position and moving his feet.
Clemens on Hawkins. Boy, he got that quick first step, and he's going to go for the conventional 3. Wow, that was on Hawkins.
That was. So I'm telling you, Illinois State is just flat tonight. Watch this. Hawkins, he just doesn't react quick enough. They're just a step slow.
And it's back to a 3-point lead for Indiana State at 41-38. Bain, who's had a huge game here tonight. It's been the Hawkins Fain show for the most part. Nice dish by Lee and the finish by Fain.
Fain tonight from the floor is 5 out of 6. 7 of 9 at the line, and he's got 20 in 22 minutes. Got 17 points.
Scott, what a move on Wills. Lost the handle. Stolen by Evans. Lee. Can't give the Redbirds the lead, but Wills gets the long rebound.
Evans with a great back tap. Outstanding.
And the foul is going to be called on T.J. Bell.
You feel like Illinois State's like a lion stalking their prey right now, trying to see if they can get a lead. Every time they get close, they fall back down.
That's already the 5th team foul on Indiana State at the 13:52 mark of the second half of play. And the Sycamores
Piling up the fouls.
big time, man. Big time.
Their 6th foul here.
Evans, can't connect on the alley-oop to Inja. Bell with the spin move, blocked by Inja. Bell. And Indiana State basketball. 20 seconds left on the shot clock.
Boy, I'm watching these two coaches, and they are coaching hard. They're both barking.
Shot clock at 7. Barnes, the freshman. Now to Bell with 3 on the shot clock. Drains it. T.J. Bell.
Inja was late getting there. And he went, okay, I'll take it. And again, Illinois State's had chances, and they slide back down by 3.
Barnes picks up the foul, and that is already the 7th team foul on the Trees. And we have 12 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in this second half. Redbirds might have a chance to win this one at the free throw line.
Harris lead to the line at 1 and the bonus.
That's the 3rd personal foul on Jordan Barnes. Lee, of course, already surpassed the 1,000-point mark in his incredible career here. And if you remember last week, became the all-time steals leader in Illinois State history in the game last week against Bradley. In fact, all-time 10th in Missouri Valley Conference history in steals.
There they go again. They're 1 down again. Every time it seems they get to 1 down, they go back 3 down, 4 down. Illinois State's guarding really well on the perimeter right now. They got a little bit of a jumping.
Stolen by Evans. And he tries to get the save right to Paris Lee. Spain. Foul.
Well, that is a big-time save. I mean, a big-time save by Evans.
is fouled.
Watch this. Here comes the steal. Steps right in. It goes right off his own leg. Tracks it down. And Paris Lee there to grab it.
While all that action was going on, as Fain misses the first free throw, Dan Muller and Rick Crawford were nose to nose. And I literally thought for a second there, Cap, as you were describing that last play, that Dan was going to get a tee. I mean, he is frustrated as the game is tied at 43. And I think Rick said, hey, you better cool it down or I'm going to have to give you the tee.
I'll have to give you one.
Scott on Wills.
Ah, God.
Brandon Scott.
That was a tough shot.
That's why, folks, he is the lone player back from last year that was in either first or second team in the Valley. And a foul is called on Indiana State. 11:45 left. It's the Valley on ESPN3. Sycamores looking for the upset. They lead it by 2. Dave Kaplan, Scott Warman with you. Quite a game we have here at Redbird Arena. Indiana State looking for the upset. They lead it by 2 near the midway point of our second half. Folks, the Grand Hall at Union Station in downtown St. Louis comes to life with a spectacular indoor light show every night. When making plans to attend Arch Madness, visit grandhall-stl.com for details. It's hard to believe, but the madness of Arch Madness and March Madness is right around the corner.
It's unbelievable. I was looking at my flights today for spring training and conference tournaments, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Paris Lee, by the way, just the second player in Redbird history to record more than 1,000 points, 300 assists, 200 steals. Ron Jones, who played from 76 to 80, also turned that trick. That is impressive numbers. Those are impressive.
Here's the other impressive thing about Paris Lee. We talk about all his exploits, shooting beyond the arc that he's done this year. Also with the assist. He's probably one of the best defenders, or one of the best defenders in all the Missouri Valley Conference.
Well, he is first among active NCAA players in career steals, coming into tonight 227.
Phil Fain to the line again. He has 18 points tonight. He's 8 of 11 from the free throw line. And he misses again. The 18 points is a career high for Fain.
Paris one steal tonight, so he's at 228.
Van Soik back on the floor for Greg Lansing's team. He has 3 fouls. Boy, what a power move by T.J. Bell. Impressive.
He did. Nobody was going to get his way. Zone again. I think this zone's been a real disruptive thing for Illinois State offensively today.
Evans for 3. And again, contact underneath. And I believe this is going to be on Van Soik. That'll be number 4, I believe, Dave. Yep, that's on Van Soik.
Greg Lansing saying, my guys are boxing out. How is that a foul? See, it was a 4-point lead. They came back, they tied it. Now they've slid right back to the 4-point deficit again if you're Illinois State. He's at the line a lot tonight. He is now 9 of 13 from the line.
Bain 1 of 2. Illinois State 12 of 19 from the charity stripe tonight.
You got to do better than that.
Especially. Boone-Scoten. Just short. Evans collects the miss. Redbirds have a chance to tie it with a 3. Evans, kick out. Clayton for the tie. And this time I think Fain is going to be called, Cap, for the offensive foul.
Yes, he is.
16 foul.
Let's take a look at the rebounding foul. There's the long miss. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Fain push from behind. No doubt about that.
Cap, Illinois State 4 for 15 tonight from beyond the arc. In fact, 0 for 4 in the second half shooting threes. Brenton Scott. It won't drop. Putback is up and in. TJ Bell again, right at the doorstep for the Indiana State Sycamores, and they have a 5-point lead at 49-44.
They've taken a punch from Illinois State. It was tied at 43, and here they go.
Hawkins. Illinois State's last field goal was at the 14:29 mark of the second half. Virtually 5 minutes right now without a field goal.
Do you feel like there's no flow to this game?
None. We talked about that at the halftime.
Just choppy.
And that works to Indiana State's favor.
No question about it.
And the one thing that you brought up, Cap, especially late in the first half, is Indiana State kind of giving Illinois State a little taste of their own medicine with the type of defense that they've played in this game.
Yeah, they've been very good at taking away McIntosh tonight, being very aggressive on the perimeter. And that zone, I think, has been a masterstroke by Greg Lansing.
There you see Deontae Hawkins, another double-double tonight, as he has 11 points and 10 rebounds.
They keep missing free throws.
Their last 5 points have come via the charity stripe.
Shooting just 61.9% from the free throw line tonight, 13 of 21.
All right, so now Dan Muller goes to a zone.
I think that's a good call, too.
Clock of 5. Clemens gets the shot off, and Clayton will collect the miss. Here's Mikhail McIntosh. He has been so quiet tonight, and he hits the bucket.
He was not going to be denied there. That's his first 2 points of the night.
31 minutes before McIntosh gets on the scoreboard. Will that ignite the Redbirds? Crowd trying to get back into it. Sycamores trying to add to their 2-point lead. Kessinger wide open on the drive.
Boy, Hawkins is sitting there with 3 personal fouls and went, I don't want to pick up number 4. Kessinger was not going to be denied that.
And a stole by Scott. Scott gets it back. And he gets the bucket and the foul. Brenton Scott.
Here comes Paris Lee back. Evans is going to take a seat. That's just a bad turnover. Just lost it. Got a hand in there by Scott. There's the foul. Eye on the prize. Finish, and he knows. Guys, 8:10 to go. We got a chance here. We could shock them.
Cap, how about this? Indiana State outscoring Illinois State on the fast breaks tonight, 14-2.
I would not want to be in Dan Muller's film session tomorrow. Unless you like hearing a lot of yelling.
Hawkins for 3. So McIntosh and Hawkins, 2 of the leaders on this Redbirds, getting the last 2 field goals for Illinois State. Scott from downtown. Clemens with the rebound. Kessinger. There's McIntosh. Will.
Don't get big threes time. Gotta get one, coach. And he does. Greg Lansing says, I've seen enough.
Redbirds leaders getting them back into this one. First Hawkins from beyond the arc, then the senior Tony Wills. Redbirds down by 1. At the Redbird Arena, Illinois State trailing Indiana State 54-53 with 7:22 remaining. But Dave Kaplan, the last 2 threes, the only threes made by Illinois State here on their last couple of possessions.
Yeah, they banged 2 threes here. Paris Lee spots his guy coming down the court. Tony Wills just spots up and buries it. Now the crowd's got a little bit of juice again. Made 2 huge baskets as Indiana State looked like they were starting to pull out a little bit.
Yes, they had their largest lead until that 6-0 spurt that just took 41 seconds for Tony Wills and the Redbirds. And that's exactly a perfect illustration of how quickly
Things can
Mikhail
turn.
McIntosh and Illinois State and things can turn. And as you mentioned, Cap, how quickly the Redbirds can strike with their firepower when they're rolling. But they have been unsteady all night, and that is a definite credit to Greg Lansing and his Indiana State Sycamores.
Nearly had a steal. Paris Lee out there being disruptive.
And Illinois State says that might have touched Jordan Barnes. I don't believe it did. I think that last touched Illinois State. So it'll be Sycamore basketball. 7:11 remaining in this second half.
That's Bert Smith, veteran official, talking to Dan Muller.
And they're having the conversation right now. And Dan getting the explanation.
The other game in the Valley tonight, it's all Loyola. They are blowing out Bradley now, 62-44 in Chicago with 6:02 to go in that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Ramblers are one of the top shooting teams in the entire country. All right, folks, want to remind you, join us this Friday for women's basketball action. It's the Valley on ESPN3. It's 2 of the top teams on the women's side in the Valley going mano-a-mano as the Northern Iowa Panthers take on the Drake Bulldogs from the McLeod Center in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Our coverage gets underway at 7 o'clock. Valley on ESPN3. Dave Kaplan, Scott Warman back with you. It's the Valley on ESPN3 as Indiana State battling the top team in the Missouri Valley Conference, the undefeated Illinois State Redbirds here in Central Illinois. Sycamores have the lead at 54-53 as Greg Lansing's team has done a phenomenal job of tying this Illinois State Redbird offense in knots on the road tonight.
They've been outstanding with their perimeter defense. Illinois State, it seems like they climb the mountain, they get the game tied, then they look up and they're 4 or 5 down again.
Scott for 3. Short. There's Wills.
The offense broke down a little bit there. It was, let's watch Brenton Scott.
McIntosh and TJ Bell with the contact inside, and it looks like TJ's going to pick up the foul. That'll be his 3rd. So the fouls are really starting to add up, Cap, for Indiana State. 3 for Bell, 3 for Barnes, 3 for Knight, and 4 for Boonscoten and Van Soyk, who are on the bench right now. McIntosh now has 3 points in the night as he ties the score at 54.
Just think it's too quick a whistle on some of these from that official.
Mikhail McIntosh has given Illinois State their first lead, Cap, since the 7-11 mark of the first half when they led it 22-19. Back to a zone for Dan Muller's squad.
I like it. Force them to have to make a big-time jump shot.
Barnes, the freshman. Oh, what a three.
There you go. So I just said, forced them to make a big-time jump shot, and he did just that. Buried it.
Lee answers.
Cannot relax on him.
Messenger lost the handle, and the possession arrow will favor Illinois State.
They're trying to run Brenton Scott along the baseline and get him an open look. The best way to dissect that zone is to do exactly what they did. Throw it in the middle, but the pass was low at his feet. Very tough to handle.
Dave, we only had one lead change in the opening 20 minutes of play. We've had 3 of them here in the last minute. Seesaw battle, 5:35 left. Redbirds have the lead at 58-57. This has been a dogfight from the get-go. Now Greg Lansing counters with his own zone.
Yep, 2-3 zone again.
McIntosh won't roll in. Hawkins with another rebound. Stolen by Scott.
That's going to be a Paris Lee, no question. Well, Hawkins got the rebound. I thought he could have just exploded back up and threw it away. There's the open look for Indiana State. And then Paris Lee says, anything you can do, I can do better.
By the way, that's the 4th steal of the night for Scott. Can't get the free throw. Hawkins.
They just have not been able to get the ball
haven't.
inside. Not at all.
Just a little bit early on with Fain, but after that, I mean, Fain has really been quiet here in this second half. Linscote
Shot clock under 5.
with 3 on the shot, short. Hawkins, and it's knocked out by Clemens. What hustle by the senior from Springfield, Illinois. Scott off the mark. And there's the rebound taken by DJ Clayton.
Yeah, not quite the shot Greg was looking for.
Hawkins trying to pick up the foul. And it looks like he did. We'll take a break. 3:46 remaining in this one. Illinois State leads it by 1. All right, Cap, let's get to our players of the game, a presentation of Aetna. Aetna invests in game-changing programs that make being healthy simpler and more convenient than ever. Get to know us at Aetna.com.
Well, I thought Van Soak really did a really nice job tonight, banging shots early. And then Phil Fain was magnificent early in both halves and really has kept Illinois State in the ballgame. His 19 points has picked up the slack. When you look at McIntosh, has 4 points, and we haven't heard much from Hawkins. He got going early, and we haven't heard much from him as of late.
Illinois State with the slow start in the beginning stages of the second half, now shooting 52% from the field. But here is an unusual stat for Dan Muller and the Illinois State Redbirds. They have 11 turnovers to just 9 assists. You got Paris Lee playing point guard, my friend.
Yeah, it's one of those nights. Dan's going to watch the tape late tonight and go, you got to be kidding me. Is that the same team that just looks so awesome against Wichita State? That's going to happen in a long season. Bradley Loyola well on their way to a win over Bradley tonight, 70-49 with 2:34 to go.
All right, so Hawkins connects on both free throws. He has a double-double tonight. That's the 5th of the season, 16 points and 12 rebounds.
Dripping toward 3.5 minutes.
And Wills is going to be whistled for the foul. Both teams in the penalty situation. In fact, that's the 9th team foul on Illinois State. Meanwhile, Sycamores already have had their 10-plus fouls in this second half of play. Britton Scott 2 for 3 from the line. How about this? 1 for 9 from beyond the arc tonight.
Some of the shots he's taken have been really contested, tough shots.
Scott averaging 17 points a game this season. Hits them both.
1-point game, 3:30 to go.
It looks like now, out of the timeout, the Sycamores go back to a man-to-man. Hawkins at the block. Too strong. Van Soik, look at him aggressively before fouls, Cap. Get that rebound.
Well, at this point, you just go out and play. You got 3 minutes left. You're trying to shock the league. You go, who won? Indiana State knocked off Illinois State in Bloomington.
Bell wide open, and he'll go to the charity stripe at the 2:51 mark and has an opportunity to give the Trees the lead back.
Really nice job here to find him. It kind of rubs off a screen there, and then boom, rolls. There's the foul, easy call.
Again for Indiana State, Van Soik and Boomscoten out there with 4 fouls, 3 for the freshman Jordan Barnes. Bell ties it at 60. You see Greg Lansing talking to his freshman Jordan Barnes. Talk about getting some PT in critical minutes. Wow.
And made a huge three.
Yes, he did. 5th lead change of the second half. Sycamores back on top, 61-60, as they're looking for the upset on the road here tonight in Central Illinois. That is number 5 on Boomscoten. I'll tell you what, that last play, Harris Lee is just so quick when he's heading to the puck.
He is, and he can turn on a dime.
So Boomscoten will finish the night with 7 points as he fouls out of tonight's game. It's not only a 9-game winning streak that's on the line tonight for the Redbirds. They have won 16 straight games. If you go back to late last season, 17 is the school record. And the senior leader for Illinois State gives the Redbirds the lead back by 1.
We may see bonus basketball tonight, the way this thing's going.
A little full court pressure again by the Birds. Nice play, and the reverse by T.J. Bell.
What a cut, what a pass, what a shot.
It's like you used to draw it up on the chalkboard, right?
Yeah, exactly, but coaches don't make baskets, they just make plays. Wow.
Harris Lee needed some help, and Dan Muller will call the timeout with 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock as Harris Lee came very close from getting that 5-second violation.
Here comes the pass. Look at that cut and look at that finish. I mean, that is a magnificent pass.
As we mentioned earlier, Illinois State picking up a top 25 vote this past week. In fact, take a look at the RPI rankings heading into tonight's action in college basketball. There you see the Redbirds at 16-4 have that 30 RPI just behind Dayton and Arkansas and just ahead of USC and, of course, West Virginia with that big win last night over KU.
Do you know that Bob Huggins has a bonus in his contract? He gets $25,000 every time he beats Kansas, and he donates the entire money to the Cancer Research Foundation.
Does he really?
Out there in Morgantown, West Virginia, and he's beaten them the last 4 years.
Harris Lee on the drive, partially blocked, and last touch by Indiana State.
Take a look at the block again. Lee turns the corner. Get it out of here. I don't know if that didn't go off of Paris Lee.
McIntosh in the paint.
But Clemens got a hand on the ball, and McIntosh is so strong, he powered through it and scored.
8th lead change. Under 2 minutes. Sycamores looking for the upset, down by 1.
2-3 zone again.
Lee with a steal.
That was a dangerous pass that goes awry. You can't make that pass there.
Harris into Hawkins.
See how he made the move and he made that pass so much easier by getting himself farther to the wing to bounce it inside.
Timeout, Indiana State. And I think, Cap, for the first time, this crowd here at Redbird Arena
They start to
is starting to get into it.
That's just, you can't make that pass. You got to know I'm definitely getting that ball in there. And then look at that pass.
That's perfect Harris Lee right there when you think about his career. Picks up the steal, turns around, gets the assist. There you see, as Cap alluded to earlier, the active leaders in the NCAA with career steals. Harris Lee atop. 229 career steals in his career here in Normal, Illinois. Well, obviously, it's a one-possession game. There's no panic here for Indiana State. Still a lot of basketball to be played.
No, you take the best available shot, you run your offense. You don't go, I got to get a 3. Oh, my God. And they bang it. Oh, my goodness.
The freshman Barnes ties it at 66.
That is a big-time shot. I'll tip my cap. I would have tried to get the ball inside.
Kid has ice in his veins. Everett Clemens looking to try to get the block, and he's whistled for his first personal foul.
I mean, watch the pass here. And so it goes to the corner, and boom. McIntosh just a hair late getting there, and he had no doubt in his mind he was taking that shot.
No hesitation whatsoever.
None.
He makes it a 2-point lead at 68 to 66.
Again, attack, 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 attack.
Redbird fans on their feet trying to help Illinois State's defense to get a stop. Indiana State looking for the upset here in Central Illinois. Scott on the drive, blocked by McIntosh.
Got to get back down the court now.
And a foul stops the clock with 21.4 seconds remaining. Illinois State trying to go to 9-0 in conference play to start things off in the Valley for the first time since 82-83. McIntosh, of course, coming off a career-high 5 blocks in the game last Saturday.
Yeah, when you needed him to make a play, he made a play. Now, if they make both free throws, you don't have to shoot a 3. You can't tie the game with a 3. Attack inside, you might get a 3-point play. I would attack, and try and lengthen the game. Take the deuce and lengthen the game.
So Dan Muller call another one of his timeouts. He has one remaining, as does Indiana State. Indiana State with 10 fouls. Also Illinois State in the double foul situation. Possession arrow favoring Indiana State. All right, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the undefeated Illinois State Redbirds. They travel down to Southwest Indiana to take on the Purple Aces on Sunday, then Northern Iowa next week, and then there's the big one a week from Saturday at Wichita State, the rematch in the Roundhouse between the Shockers and the Redbirds.
What a game that's going to be. Holy smokes.
So I think that place is going to be rocking.
And I'll be here next Wednesday with our friend John Rooney. Will be on the call of Illinois State hosting Northern Iowa, who's playing much better after a rough start.
It has been a rough start for Ben Jacobson's squad. Uncharted territory, there's no doubt about it, for Ben and his squad in Cedar Falls. But they were winning earlier last check over Evansville. All right, 21.4 left. 69-66. One more free throw coming for Illinois State, trying to extend their winning streak to 10 games and trying to tie a school record 17 straight wins here at Redbird Arena. Deontae Hawkins has had himself quite a night, 12 rebounds. He's looking for his 20th point. This to potentially make it a 2-possession game. Now Greg Lansing will burn his final timeout to set up his half-court set with 17 seconds left with a chance to tie it down by 3. Well, you look at some of the numbers here, especially from beyond the arc. One would see, as we see the upcoming schedule for Indiana State, they'll be at home for the next 2 as they'll take on Loyola on Saturday. But you look at some of the numbers from beyond the arc. Brenton Scott would be the odds-on favorite that you'd hand him the ball to try to tie the score and go into an extra 5-minute session. But he's only been 1 for 9 from beyond the arc tonight.
Yeah, and he's had a lot of tough contested shots. He's 5 for 17 overall. Again, you got a lot of time. I would lengthen the game because if you take a 3 and you miss, they make 2 free throws. Pretty much have ended the ballgame. I would see if I could attack inside. Maybe you get a 3-point play, send guys to the offensive glass, and get it to 69-68, and then foul right away. You can always shoot the 3 the next possession.
Let's not forget, Cap, we just saw Jordan Barnes, number 2, the freshman, who has hit 2 huge shots down the stretch for Indiana State.
Again, if you get an open look and you throw it to a guy and he's ready to shoot it, take it. But I could see them actually trying to see they get the ball inside. Now the clock's run down. Now you got to get a 3.
Van Soik with a tie. No. Rebound Paris Lee and a whistle with 2.1 seconds remaining. And there you see the Redbirds cheering on their fans as they've sweated this one out tonight.
Well, the clock runs down, so now you've got to get a shot. They get him a pretty decent look.
Now Paris Lee, the senior from Maywood, to try to ice this one for the Redbirds and try to extend that winning streak to 10 games.
And they just did.
It's the 7th longest winning streak right now in the country. And now they'll have 17 straight, which ties the school record of victories here at Redbird Arena. And that'll do it. Quite a fight for Greg Lansing's Indiana State Sycamores, but the Redbirds come out on top by a final of 71-66.
Well, great teams find a way to win when they don't have their best, and Illinois State did just that tonight. Found a way to get it done in the end.
First season series sweep for Illinois State over the Sycamores since 2005. The Redbirds got a scare, but they survived tonight as they defeat Indiana State by a final of 71-66. For Dave Kaplan and our entire crew, I'm Scott Warman from Normal, Illinois. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Thanks for watching this contest. This has been a presentation of ESPN.